crashing right into my legs.
Why didn't you just walk away, Mr. Cronkey?
Because he was already running into me at the time, Your Honor.
No, Mr. Cronkey. My recollection of the UPS strike is there were managers driving the trucks, correct?
Well, what the police were there.
Yes, is that correct?
Yes.
And is it also correct that they were being heckled, for want of a better term, as the trucks were going in and out?
We were just stopping them from doing their course of business. We were shutting up the picket line.
You were stopping them
Yes. We were not.
from going into their building.
Isn't that the whole purpose of the picket line?
Isn't that the purpose of the picket line?
Just
No, sir.
for disrupting?
No, sir. That's not the purpose of a picket line. Let me ask you this question, sir. Do you believe that if this gentleman was going to pick up his package and he had a clear path to go into... Are you interrupting me? Two people can't talk at the same time. And when my mouth is moving, you have to be quiet. Do you think that if this man, who was doing nothing more than going to pick up his package, got there, saw your picket line, and there was a path for him to go in, pick up his package, and come out, we would be standing here today?
Yeah. He went at about 30 miles an hour also into the driveway. And on the way out, there were more pickets for him to go through. What right does that give him to run into us, Your Honor?
I don't believe, sir, that he ran into you. I believe that you were blocking him. That's what he just said. They brought out a whole bunch of other people to block him.
I believe
That's what your witness just said to me, Mr. Siemens.
We walked back and forth the street. That's what a picket line's for. I believe at the time I was a pedestrian and an automobile hit me. Is there something right with that?
That's what you believe?
Yeah, what right?
That's what you believe? How many people were out there on the picket line by the time he came out?
Approximately 20.
Okay, so there are 20 people, and he's one person in his car. Do you think that that's intimidating with people yelling and screaming and cursing? You think that that's intimidating? You can't tell me that you weren't yelling at the people who were going into Mr. Siemens.
We were not yelling.
He wasn't there for any other purpose than to pick up his package.
And run over a few people. That's all right.
Well, run over a few people.
Right. Run over. They hit us.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Hi guys, sorry. I'm trying to...
The Google Shopping Game Show where the deals are endless.
Sorry guys, I didn't say hi. Hi guys, how are you? Welcome to my live. Today's day 6. We're doing it until Christmas. I'm very, very tired today, but I am still here doing a Vlogmas, okay? Like, it's not easy. And if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and subscribe, guys. I really do need your help. If any subscription really do help me, believe me. Like, I just got to 3K subscribers, and I am so thankful for every single person on here. Like literally, seriously, like, I'm so thankful. So just, you know, like, just please subscribe, share my content, and let people know me, okay? I just want to make my YouTube so successful. Like, nothing has been successful to me but YouTube. That's why I'm always consistent on YouTube. So you guys just please share my content, okay? I really do appreciate you guys who do come back and watch my live, like, please. So I saw this trend on TikTok, and I'm going to do it. It just said wear red lip and see how your face is going to be. Like, your face is going to be even. So I'm going to see if that works.
Yeah, it's case number 261 on the calendar, the matter of Sandoval versus Gentry. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Mr. Sandoval, according to your papers, sir, you and the defendant dated briefly and were romantically involved, were sexually intimate, and there came a time when you broke up.
Yes.
And during that time, you were pregnant, had a baby. Is that right?
Yes.
And you called him and told him that you had the baby.
Yes. Right.
Yeah. And invited him to come over to see the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what you said to him?
Yes, when we were at my house, I had told him that I had been with another person, but I was pretty sure that he had been the father because I had used a condom with the other guy that I was with. So I let him know straight up that I had been with another guy.
So, did she tell you that, sir?
No.
Hmm? She never told you
No,
that.
she did not.
That doesn't make sense, madam, that you would tell him that when you invite him over to see the baby and say, listen, this could be yours and it couldn't be yours. In any event, she told you that the baby was yours?
That's correct.
And at that time, according to these papers, you weren't living close to each other.
That's correct.
Where were you living, sir?
I was living in Stockton with my mother.
And where were you living?
I was living in Hayward with my parents.
And how far is that away?
About 50 miles.
And you moved.
Yes, I moved to be near the child.
Did you take an apartment?
I rented a house with my friend.
And you were visiting the baby.
Yes.
How often?
About, at least 3 times a week.
Would you go over to her parents' house?
Yes, I would.
Is that
I
right?
did.
A couple times, yes.
So he would come over and visit with the baby. Were you present when he visited with the baby?
Yes.
Did you hold the baby?
Yes, I did.
Did you feed the baby?
Yes, I did.
Did he?
Yes.
Did you take the baby out?
Yes, I did. Sometimes with her, sometimes away from her.
And for how long did this go on?
From the time she was about 3.5 weeks till she was about 5.5 months.
So for 5.5 months, for 5 months, you spent a lot of time with the baby.
Yes.
And then there came a time when you were called into court for child support.
No, that's not true.
What happened?
I initiated court proceedings against her because she would not give me any access to the child whatsoever.
Well, what happened that stopped this free flow of visitation that you had?
We began having problems arguing over money and things because she didn't think that I was trying hard enough to look for work.
So you were arguing over something.
Yes.
Did there come a time when you told him that he wasn't to see the baby anymore?
If he was harassing me at work, he kept calling me. I told him not to call me in case of emergency. He called me anyway.
What would he call you about?
What are you doing? I'm at work. I'm working. You know?
Yes.
And if I said, you know, just please call me, you know, if there's an emergency, and he would call me just any time.
Well, what did that have to do with the baby?
He would go over the babysitter's house, and, you know, she asked him to call first. He wouldn't call first. He just started showing up over there. It's just, it's just a bunch of things that just came down to it. I don't.
So you told him that he couldn't see the baby anymore. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So you went to court.
Yes, I did.
And when you went to court, you had a blood test.
Yes, and it excluded me.
And the blood test said that you could not possibly be the biological father of this child.
Correct.
And then what happened, sir? Because that's not the only thing that you're suing her for, the fact that she misled you.
I got served papers at my aunt's house in March, on March 20th, and I received the papers by April.
And that was the state calling you into court
Yes.
for child support.
Correct.
Because you had listed his name as the father.
And the welfare department, they have you put down.
Now listen to me. Just answer my question.
Yeah.
You had listed his name as the father.
And the other guy also. They have you put down whoever the father could be on a child support paper. And so, you know, you put down both of them and they go from there.
So you were called into court again, sir.
Yes. And I was told that they would start detaching my wages, taking my taxes. And I sent them copies of this paternity test, and I mean, they wouldn't hear it. They said because there was 2 parties that took the test that I had to resubmit it again.
So you took the test again,
Yes, I did.
and it again excluded you.
Yes, correct.
Did you have to pay for the blood test?
The second one, no, I did not.
Did you have to pay for the first one?
Yes, I did.
How much did you have to pay for the first one?
I believe it was $440.
Did you have to pay for a lawyer?
No, I represented myself completely.
Did you have any other expenses, sir, as a result of this proceeding? Out-of-pocket expenses?
Out of my pocket,
Yes.
court fees,
How much were the court fees?
$370.
Anything else?
No.
Now, for my own information, Miss Gentry, what happened when they blood tested the other man?
I don't know if
who
you
said-
guys-
who you claimed that you named?
they're still trying to find him.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to, I'm trying to, like, you know, do my makeup, okay? So if I don't talk to you, I'm sorry.
3 of your ex-boyfriends died. Sure, a few of my exes are dead. That's 6.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 25-year-old Rich Sandoval says when a court-ordered paternity test proved he was not the father of Sandy Jeffrey's baby, he sued for emotional stress. Sandy says she made an honest mistake and is being harassed by Mr. Sandoval.
Are you working now?
No, I'm not.
Why not?
I'm trying to establish where I'm living, and, you know, I'm trying to get a job yet.
Where were you working before?
Just odd jobs through a temp agency.
So why did you stop working?
Because I just couldn't handle it anymore. I couldn't handle him. He came to my work, or someone came to my work, and I just couldn't take the harassment anymore.
What harassment?
From him. And just couldn't take it anymore. What was going on?
Well, explain to me what was going on, Miss Gentry. I don't understand what was going on.
Well, just he would harass me, and he would...
That's a conclusion. How did he harass you?
He would call me, he would threaten me.
How did he threaten you?
He threatened me and my friend over the phone.
What did he say, madam?
That he was, if I didn't watch out, I was going to be shot, things like that.
Don't you ever say that to her? You know, the problem, Miss Gentry, is when a court gets the impression that somebody's a liar, they question everything that they say. Now, you told this man that he was the father of this child. He believed you.
I did tell him that there was another guy, that there was a possibility that the other guy might have been his father, but
I don't believe that. It doesn't strike me as being accurate, madam, that you gave him any suggestion whatsoever that this was not his child, because if you did, it is unlikely that he would have left his mother's house and moved to be closer to the baby, that he would have gone over and spent days with this baby, bonding with this baby, feeding her according to you, holding her, taking her out, taking her to... You're his mother? That he used to bring the baby to your house? Visiting a grandmother, getting this whole family involved with this baby. If you had said to him, listen, there's a chance the baby's not yours, doesn't make sense. That's why I think you're a liar. And I think you're a liar when you say that he threatened to shoot you. And I do.
I have my witness right here.
Oh, yeah, step up.
Yeah.
Step up. Let me hear your witness. Who are you?
I'm Gina.
Gina what?
Gina Ito.
How do you know her?
My brother is dating her. And,
Your brother's dating her.
through the times that she moved out of her mother's house and was living with me for a while.
What was she living with you for?
To get back on her feet.
Or was she dating your brother at the time?
Uh-huh.
What do you want to tell me about these threats now? Do you have anything to tell me firsthand?
For threats, yeah, he has called. He said, you better watch your back. I will get you.
Okay. And under what circumstance did he say that to you?
He called up.
Called up for what?
For no reason. Harassing. He called up for no
Was
reason.
this child living in your house?
Yes, she was.
Sit down. Listen, Mr. Sandoval, when you had sexual relations with this lady, did you use protection?
No, I didn't.
Dumb.
I know.
Very dumb. You must deserve what you get if you don't use protection. You know? What you got was a story that you had a child, but you could have gotten was a lot worse.
That's correct.
Right?
Yes.
And I think she's as manipulative as can be, because she let you see the baby, then she stopped you from seeing the baby, she found a new boyfriend, she moved out of her mother's house, her mother probably was fed up with her, she moved into the sister's house of the boyfriend. Sounds to me as if your baby's going to need a lot of luck. Baby's got a father who's off someplace else. We don't know who he is right now. We're in the third relationship that I know about. Him, the one who's in the wind, who maybe is the father, and this new boyfriend. So what are you suing for, sir?
I'm suing for loss of wages from when I left in February up until present time now.
Listen.
The cost that it took me to relocate from my mother's house to move down there to be near this child.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What you're saying does not sound logical. And if it doesn't sound logical, to me, it didn't happen.
And later today,
there are blue chip stocks to invest in if you want to invest your money. Rave parties are not smart. Got it?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
You're suing her for a lot of money. You want $5,000 in damages. And I don't think that there's probably any way that you're going to get $5,000, but I think she certainly has to pay you for every bit of out-of-pocket expenses that you have, plus something for punitive damages, because I think that she caused you a great deal of heartache.
Yes, she did.
You're shaking your head no?
I just don't understand why you don't believe that I didn't tell him that.
Why don't I believe it? It's not logical. You used him for the first few months until you found somebody else. And when you found somebody else, that's her brother, then you decided to cut him off. And when you decided to cut him off because you were too busy with another social event in your life, then he started to call and he wanted to see the baby, you were cutting him off. So he was forced at that point to go to the family court to establish his parental rights and establish visitation. That all sounds very, very logical. And what you're saying, it does not sound logical. And if it doesn't sound logical, to me, it didn't happen. The truth of the matter is, Mr. Sandoval,
I used to think a holiday one-stop shop was a myth until I found Michael's. Oh, I need those. Definitely need those.
Is it just me? I'm just tired of
I know.
like YouTube ads. Like I'm just tired of it. God.
And we're back in third quarter planning. Adams is quarterbacking this project, and she's looking pretty tired, Jim.
it was a good thing that
Like I'm just so tired. Like literally every 2 seconds. The hell.
That's correct.
Like you can't watch a movie or like even a video in peace, even if it's 5-minute video. Like it's still gonna have ads. Like
that she wasn't yours. She could have. You could
kind
have
of
gone for 20 years, and all of a sudden you needed a blood transfusion. You take her blood, and they say to you, "Sorry, this baby that you've loved for 20 years really isn't yours." So as painful as it is right now to you, it was only 5 months worth of pain at your age, and it taught you a very good lesson. You want to fool around? Cover up. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff for the amount of $2,000. That's all.
Bodies aren't disputed. You may step out. I'll come back to you right.
I guess he just wants money. I don't know what he wants.
No, justice. There's a difference.
Whatever.
And now the next case.
All parties on Light versus Betts. Step forward, please.
Nancy Light is suing Ann Betts on behalf of her 2 children, 17-year-old Alexis and 15-year-old Aaron. Alexis and Aaron claim they invested $600 in a rave dance concert. They say they got ripped off and want their money back.
Who is Alexis?
That'd be me.
And you are how old?
I'm 17.
guys, let me know if you guys want me to like be posted my photos on YouTube because I don't know how that works. So you guys let me
According
know.
to these papers, you were planning a rave party. Is that pronounced correctly? You're going to tell me what that is in a minute. And the plaintiff invested $600 in this party, and she received for her $600, $250, the party's conclusion. She's suing you for the rest. Is that right?
Correct.
So who's going to tell me first what a rave party is?
It's an all-ages, non-alcoholic dance event. It's music that usually we bring lighting and sound in, and goes from 8 p.m. until 6 or 7 a.m. Spend anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 on a party, and it's to provide like all ages of children with things to do, kids and adults. And it's not a club scene; it's not an alcoholic thing.
Is that what you do for a living, spend these parties?
Yeah, it's just an extra thing that I do.
Okay. What prompted you to solicit funds from somebody who was a minor?
She wanted to invest in the party.
How did you know her?
She comes to parties.
Is that what happened?
We were friends. We were somewhat close friends going into this, and I guess March before the party, she asked my brother and I, actually my brother first, if he would like to invest, which was more like a loan, not really an investment. It was a loan that we would be getting paid back because she knew that my mom was weary about letting us loan her this money because it's a large investment.
And according to your answer, at least, your defense to this lawsuit is twofold, right? You say, one, the party didn't make enough money, and second, because she's a minor, you couldn't enter into a valid contract with her.
Well, we didn't have anything in writing. It was an investment, and when you make money, you make, and you lose, you lose.
I have written a statement here from Ann that was given to me the night after the party. Do you want to see this? Do you want me to read it to you, what it says?
Is that something you wrote to her?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Well, read me the pertinent part.
It will only take a few weeks of busting overtime and work and living clean, and you'll have my word. You'll have my word that I will have your money back ASAP. I'm only sorry things didn't work out any easier. I will pay every penny back plus some interest. Thank you so much for your help and participation. Sincerely, Ann.
Sound familiar? Yes. So what happened?
Well, the other guy who was involved in the party stole about $3,000 from the party, and I was forced to pay back all the investment, which was like, he didn't pay any of it back, and I've paid all of it back, but about $200. And since this has been written, I only owe him $200 now. There's another $150 that, of course, wasn't receipted, but she knows that I gave it to her after the last event.
Yeah, she did.
So that all she owes you now is $200.
Yeah.
All right.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Guys, we're doing a cook crease today.
I wanted to find out what this rave party was.
We're doing a cook crease, and I'm so tired, guys. The fact that I'm here vlogging for you guys, like,
when you enter into a contract with a minor,
please subscribe.
She was a minor, that she is incapable of entering into a valid contract, whether it be an investment or a loan. Therefore, anyone who enters into a contract with a minor, there is no contract. That money has to be paid back to her, because dealing with her, even though she's pretty smart, pretty savvy, and she sounds like she doesn't take any baloney from anybody, it's no different dealing with her than it would be dealing with someone who was 8 years old in the eyes of the law. So you couldn't go over to somebody, an 8-year-old who was running a lemonade stand on the corner and say, would you like to invest $25 in my rave party? You can't do that. So you owe her the $200. Be smart. You have to learn something before you involve yourself in business.
Well, yeah. I trusted her, though, and that's
It's not a question of trust. It's a question of knowing what you know. At your age, you don't know a lot. Right?
Right.
You don't know a lot. You don't know a lot about business. You don't know a lot about people. Your mother probably does. But you don't.
She has a lot.
That's why the law protects children from sometimes unscrupulous people who prey on young children to take their money out of their savings account, to take their money out of their piggy bank, to take their money out of their college fund, and invest in all kinds of harebrained schemes. There are blue chip stocks to invest in if you want to invest your money. Rave parties are not smart. Got it? The judgment in this case is for the plaintiff. $200. Thank you.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And on the next.
You look at the moment when your ancestor became an American. It's unbelievable. And there's this photo. Handsome guy. What happened to me?
Xin chào tất cả các bạn đã quay trở lại với kênh của cô. Thì hôm trước làm video, cô đã cô và các bạn đã tìm ra 5 chữ số lẻ có 1 chữ.
23-year-old nurse Valerie Brookhart is suing 27-year-old waiter Billy Robinson for assaulting her outside a nightclub. Valerie says Billy punched her in the mouth, chipping her teeth and dislocating her jaw.
Order. All rise. That's this case number 4 on the calendar in the matter of Brookhart versus Robinson. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have seats.
All right, I have a claim, an answer, and a countersuit. And each of you claims that the other caused you injury during an assault that took place outside of a nightclub. Miss Brookhart, when did this assault happen?
On February 2nd, Your Honor.
What time did it happen?
Approximately 2:30 in the morning.
Where were you?
We were exiting the nightclub. The club had closed, and we were I was with my Christina Moore, one of my witnesses, this one closest to me. And we were leaving the nightclub. The club closed. We were all leaving at the same time. Christina and his witness Michelle had some words in the bathroom. As we walked out of the club, it kind of escalated into yelling. At that time, Michelle swung at Chrissy. It had been snowing. Christina slipped and fell.
Okay. You saw all this. This is
Oh, yeah.
You saw. Okay. Stop shaking your head. You'll have a chance to see. So this young lady swung at your friend.
Uh-huh.
She didn't connect.
No.
And your friend slipped and fell.
Yes.
Okay. What happened next?
At that time, Michelle came over. Chrissy kind of stood up, and the two of them just went to town on each other.
So the two of them started to fight.
Yes.
And who else was outside?
Billy and a friend of theirs from Cincinnati.
Right.
At that time, when I saw my friend was getting beat up, I stuck my arm out and I said, okay, whoa, this is enough. The defendant grabbed my arm and flung it and told me to stay the F out of it. So then he started hitting me with his chest. And,
what do you mean hitting you with his chest?
He kind of came up to me and started bumping his chest up against me, telling me to stay out of it.
Okay.
He said, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You ain't got nothing. And I said, what are you trying to do? I said, are you trying to fight with a girl? And he's like, what? And I said, I'm a registered nurse. I take care of people for a living. I'm a woman. You're a man. I'm not going to fight with you. He just persisted to hit me with his chest and push me. I kind of pushed him back and stepped back away from him. And he kept yelling at me and talking trash, basically. Finally, I said, you can't hit a girl. And he said, I'll show you I can't hit a girl. And he just blam. He hit me, busted my lip in 3 different places. He came up in front of me then and started going like this, as if I was going to hit him back, like I'm stupid and I want to get hit again. At that time, I turned around. My face was numb. I'd never been hit before. My face was numb. I turned around to feel and see if my teeth were still there. He chipped 2 of my teeth. Then, as I turned back around, Michelle got off of Christina. They were on the floor wrestling on the ground. Yeah.
She got off.
Kicked Chrissy in the back of her neck. At that time, Billy came over, kicked Chrissy in the back of her neck, jumped on her, and started beating her. I looked at Michelle. We kind of made eye contact, and I said, Michelle, get him off of her. Get him off of her. Michelle's kind of tapping me, saying, Billy, you're crazy. Billy, you're crazy. She was kind of pulling on him, and we're both yelling to stop, and he's just, beating the crap out of her. She still has lumps on her neck, Your Honor, and bumps on her head from this incident that occurred February. At that time, I reached down and grabbed his collar, and I said, get off of my friend. He stood up, turned around, swung me, just made contact right here, and dislocated the left side of my jaw. After that happened, I grabbed my friend, and I said, we're going to the hospital. I said, I'm pressing charges against you, buddy, and you're going to be sorry.
You went to the emergency room?
Yes, I did.
You have the report?
Yes, I did. These are pictures of my mouth, and you can see on my right arm the picture of the bruises, and that's the police report. That's mine and his.
Did you press charges against him?
Oh, I tried to, Your Honor, and they said that because it was a cross complaint, because I think he was smart enough to know if I was pressing charges against him that he'd better do something so he didn't get in trouble. So he also filed a report stating that, I guess, I attacked him, and so the charges were dropped because it was considered a cross complaint.
Okay. Do you have any medical records?
I didn't get a copy of any medical report. They basically just told me that my jaw wasn't broken, that it was dislocated, and that it popped back in on its own.
They usually write that down in a report, madam.
Yeah,
it doesn't necessarily mean that you always get a copy of the report, but I'm telling you for the future, it's a good thing to have if you ever go to court.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Robinson, now will be your version of the events, please.
Okay. On February 2nd, we were at the club, like she said, and we were leaving. And the altercation started in the restroom with Christina and Michelle. And I told Michelle to let's go, just to not even bother.
What do you guys think?
They proceeded, both of them, Ms. Brookhart and Ms. Moore, followed us out to the parking lot. So when we were standing out there, Christina starts making comments about Michelle's mother, and Michelle had asked her to stop making those comments. As we walked, they kept walking, pushing up beside us. Valerie and Christina kept pushing up beside us. Finally, Michelle turned around and was like, I've had it, Chrissy, stop with your comments. Chrissy punched her. She punched her in the face. She made the first hit. And then after she hit her, I stepped between them and I put my hands like this to both of them and said, stop, guys. You guys are going to go to jail. They had been drinking.
I think she had a couple of beers, and I was like, you both are going to go to jail, stop.
You hadn't had anything to drink?
I hadn't drank. I have seizures. I can't drink on the medication. Anyway, after I had stepped in the middle, Christy then proceeded to hit me in the left side of my head, right here, around my temple. And upon that, I shoved her backwards and told her to get away from me. And when I did so, Miss Brookhart grabbed me by the collar of my fleece, which I have here. And she started punching me in the back of my head, yanking me. And she pulled me so hard that she ripped the collar off of it. And after her hitting me about 3 or 4 times, I was like, stop hitting me, trying to get away from her, pull away from her. And I did grab her arm, trying to get her off of me, and she would not let go. I did hit her after she had ripped and hit me in the back of the head, trying to get her off, and she still would not let me go.
Where did you hit her?
I hit her right here.
In the mouth?
Yes, I hit her there.
Go ahead.
And after I hit her, she still wouldn't let me go. And there was at one point in the fight that both of them were on me. They kicked me in the back of the head. I do have medical reports from the doctor where I was treated. I went into seizures and was taken by ambulance to the emergency room.
Let me see your report.
And I also have a copy of my police report.
Why did you miss 3 doses of your seizure medication prior to this incident?
I don't think that was actually correct. I had missed two doses, which
Why?
was, I take 100 milligrams 4 times a day, and I had taken 200 milligrams that day, but I had been at work, and then we got off, we left, so I had just forgotten to take the other 2 pills.
There's also an indication here in the report that you have a recent history of alcohol use. Did you tell them that?
No, I did not.
Somebody must have told them that you were with in order for them to treat you properly. You are a smoker, is that right?
I do smoke.
Then there's a question mark about drugs, but certainly recent alcohol use is circled by the doctor.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Valerie Brookhart says she was assaulted by Billy Robinson outside a nightclub. Billy says he was punched first.
Okay, step up. You were there that evening?
Yes.
Okay. What were you fighting with her about in the bathroom?
It wasn't what we were fighting about in that time in the bathroom. It goes beyond that. It's every time that I'd ever seen the show after we had separated.
Guys,
She
what do you
would come
think?
to my mom's house. She came to our apartment, and it was just a really bad breakup.
So you had a really bad breakup. You didn't get along with each other, but I watched you as they were testifying, and there's no question that you were not only agreeing with the fact, but just saying I did the right thing, that you punched a few people, right?
That's correct.
Who did you punch?
I did punch Michelle.
All right. Now, you explain to me why you punched Michelle. She was getting in your face.
Right, well, we were fighting. I mean, she swung at me and missed.
And you fell down.
That's correct.
And then you got up.
Yes.
And what did you do when you got up?
I defended myself. That's what I did.
You hit her.
Yes, ma'am.
And you connected.
That's correct.
And you also hit him.
You know what? I don't even remember hitting him because she beat the crap out of me, literally. I felt tons of fists on me. I had bruises all over me. I don't even think they had a scratch on them for me.
Did you file a complaint against them?
I didn't, and at the time, Your Honor, I had...
You did or you did not?
I did not.
Well, why not if you had bruises and marks all over you?
Because at the time, I had a prior court date. It was just too much stress, Your Honor.
Prior court date for what?
I had a traffic violation.
You don't get too stressed because you have a traffic violation, madam.
Your Honor, I was with her for 2 years, and it was in a bad relationship for 2 years. I just wanted it to be gone. And if it would not be for this case, I mean, this is hopefully the last time I ever see her.
Well, I'm talking about hitting him.
Your Honor, he hit me. He jumped on me after Michelle had got up from me. I didn't charge him. I'm not stupid. I'm really not.
Your Honor, she was lying in the fetal position, covering her head on the ground. He was crouched down on top of her, but she didn't even see who was hitting her. I mean, at that time, she wasn't even defending herself.
There is no way that Miss Brookhart could have seen where she was because she and I were in a totally different area than these two were after the fight got started. When she grabbed me by my neck, we were over next to the club. They were out in the middle of the parking lot.
I'm talking about
And
before
she
that.
had a hold of me, shaking me. There's no way that with mine and her confrontation that she could have seen how she was laying at all.
Step up. You're Michelle?
Yes, ma'am.
Michelle, did you take a swing at her?
Yes, after she connected with me right here, I still have the lump on the side of my head. I will not lie and say that when Christina slipped and fell that I did not proceed to beat the crap out of her, but when I came out of the bar, she consistently kept calling my mother a B, and just over and over and over and over again. And I took off my upper shirt and I said, Christina, that's enough. Stop it. And that's when we got face to face and we started shouting. Well, she swung and connected me right here. Well, then my friend Sarah grabbed me, pulled me away. Then I had my back towards them. They were all three going at it. Then I finally went back because I told Sarah to let me go because they were going after Billy. Well, Valerie and Billy were hitting each other. And Valerie had a hold of this. The fleece was like this. Valerie had a hold of it like this, punching him in the back of the head. And for 6 months, I took care of Billy. And I know that any trauma to the back of his head or his back anywhere is going to send him into a seizure. And so I went to break him up. Then me and Chrissy were in a different location than them two. She slipped and fell. I ran up to her, I kicked her, and then I proceeded hitting her again. I'm not going to lie about that.
Were you the one who took Mr. Robinson to the hospital, or did he go by ambulance?
No, ma'am. I called the ambulance at the apartment because before we even got home, we were driving and he started having seizures.
How did you know he was having a seizure?
Because when Billy starts to have seizures, his eyes roll into the back of his head and his mouth kind of goes crooked and he just shakes like that. And then when we got home, our roommate Jason and his friend Paul and Sarah helped me carry him into the house. I laid him on the floor and then I called 911.
How much did you have to drink when you were there?
I'm not a drinker. I had probably a half to 3/4 of a Zima.
What is that?
It's like a beer, fake beer kind of.
And you?
I have 1 beer and 1 water.
The place would go out of business. Well, I must tell you, Miss Brookhart, his injuries seem a lot more serious than yours.
But he's known to have seizures, and he was drinking that night at the club.
How do you know that?
I know that because we were there with him. We were a table apart. He came over to my sister's house and bragged about him and Michelle both came over to my sister's house bragging about how they beat the crap out of us. That's why she's here.
Step up. Tell me your name.
Vanessa Horsley.
How are you related to this whole case?
This is my sister. Michelle was a friend of our family. They had broken up. She would come over to our house. We still, kept in contact with Michelle.
Okay.
They had come over bragging.
Who's they?
Michelle, Billy, and another person, telling me that they had jumped them, that they were kicking her in the back of the neck. I mean, they've telling this in detail. They told me how they were on Special K and candy flipping.
What is that?
I don't know. You have to ask them.
Do you know?
It's some sort of drug. I don't know. They're known to be cocaine dealers.
Special K?
Yeah, in Dayton.
I never heard of that. What is Special K?
Special K is a veterinary tranquilizer that they use that people do bake and sell as a drug. I've never tried Special K myself because it is a tranquilizer and it puts people in a comatose state. And if I'm going to go out and party, I don't want to be put in a comatose state where I don't know what's going on.
And what else aside from Special K?
Candy flipping? Yeah. I know
what's candy flipping?
Ecstasy and acid. It's also referred
Do
to as
they
troll.
use these things in the club that you
I don't do acid because
No. Do they use these things?
Oh yes, they use them in a lot of clubs.
In this club?
Yes, they have used those things in that club.
When did they come over and have this discussion?
2 weeks later.
Does that sound familiar to you?
Yes, the time that we were at Valerie's house was way before this fight ever happened. Or Vanessa's, I'm sorry, before this fight ever happened. This is the only time I've ever met her in my entire life. And I have never seen her or talked to her since this happened.
You have not?
Not
You have not seen to the house since?
Not once. I've been there one time. I met her one time. It was way before the fight.
I spoke to Vanessa on the phone and told her on the phone what happened. We went to Vanessa's house before the fight. After the fight is when I spoke to Vanessa on the phone and told her what happened.
What did you tell her?
I told her that me and Chrissy got into it, and Chrissy hit me in the side of the head. And that I beat the crap out of Chrissy, and Valerie and Billy got into it, and they exchanged some punches. And I mean, ask Vanessa. I mean, the whole 2 years me and Chrissy were together, Chrissy was beating the crap out of me.
Sort of interesting. You say that after this fight, when your sister was injured, that she came to your house? Mm-hmm. Who else lived in your house?
My husband and my 3 children.
Why would you have her in your house after she violently assaulted your sister?
I didn't know about it then, Your Honor.
You mean
They'd come over to tell me about it. I mean, they'd come over.
You mean you have no contact with your sister?
I lived in Cedarville and I had no phone. So anyone that wanted to make contact with me would come to my home.
You mean they just came totally unannounced?
Yes, ma'am.
Why would these 2 people gratuitously make the trip to your house and proceed to confess to the commission of a double assault?
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
I'm not sure either. I'm not sure if I believe you. How's that? Just doesn't make sense. Now you can all sit down. except you. You both believe that you behaved irresponsibly that evening?
No. I believe that the situation could have been dealt with differently, yes.
You don't think so?
No, because I didn't start a fight with anybody. I was just standing there watching my friend get beat up, and when I tried to stop
you
the fight,
did,
is
in
when
fact, pull him on the back of his shirt and put your hands on him.
yes, I did. After he busted my lip, after he hit me twice in the face, like you see in that picture.
Well, how did you get behind him in order to grab the back of his shirt after he punched you in the lip?
Just like I said before, Your Honor, the two girls were fighting. The one girl got off of her. Billy had already hit me in the mouth at this point.
I don't believe that, Miss Brookhart. I don't believe if you're hit in the mouth so badly that your mouth is numb, and your lip is split, and your teeth were chipped, then you're telling me you got back into the fray by grabbing him, not in the front, but in the back.
Because when I had turned back around, they were already on the floor fighting. And I just reached
They
right
were?
in. Yes.
They were,
Yeah.
not you.
Right.
So you got back into the fray.
I tried to get him off of my friend. So did Michelle. You can ask her. She did
So
too.
she tried to get him off of a friend.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe you.
Yes.
I don't know if I believe you. I believe that you got into a brawl that evening. Both of you. I believe that you both behaved very badly that evening. I don't believe, quite frankly, Mr. Robinson, everything that you tell me about your medication, about your not drinking it all that evening. I don't know about drugs. Probably not. There's nothing in a toxicology report here that indicates that you were on any kind of drugs, but I didn't see a toxicology report, but I don't believe that you had nothing to drink that evening.
There's a toxicology report there.
For drugs.
Right.
It's for drugs, but not alcohol.
I'm not sure.
Okay. And by history, either by history given by you or a friend who brought you in, you had had a recent history of alcohol, despite the fact that you tell me that you can't drink alcohol because of seizure disorders. And so I'm not exactly sure that you're telling me the truth either. However, I believe that both of you behaved badly that evening, and you got into a brawl, and both of you take care of your own medical expenses. Your claim and your counterclaim are dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I didn't touch his head. I didn't even come close. I grabbed him by the back of his collar.
Drama. They love drama.
Would you have walked away from your best friend if she was lying in the fetal position getting beat up?
I'm from the South. I was raised a gentleman. I do not hit girls.
I tried to yell at other people to help. Somebody help. And nobody stepped in.
This isn't the first incident, and it's the last, though.
I just want everybody to know what he looks like and who he is and that he beats up girls.
20-year-old waitress Raquel Garcia is suing the father of her child, 23-year-old construction worker Luis Cisneros, for a loan to pay his warrants and damage to her car.
Order. All rise. Now, this is case number 204 on the calendar in the matter of Garcia versus Cisneros. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Ms. Garcia, you and the defendant had a long-term relationship, and according to what I've read, you have a child together.
Yes.
How old is the child?
He's 4.
You claim that sometime in 1999, the defendant had gotten a series of tickets as a result of being in an accident.
Yes.
What kind of tickets were they, sir?
My license was suspended, and I went to court and I had to pay $1,600.
And according to you, Ms. Garcia, the defendant asked you if you could loan him $3,000 to pay those parking tickets.
Yes.
After some time, you did in fact agree to pay the parking tickets with your tax refund.
Yes.
Did you give him a check for $3,000, or did you pay those tickets directly?
I gave him the money. It was all cash. When I went to deposit the check, I took out half of that money, and then the rest I just gave it to him because I'm only allowed to take out $200 out of my bank account at a day.
Why?
That's just my agreement with my bank. It's a credit limit.
This isn't credit limit. You put in a government check from the Internal Revenue Service.
Mm-hmm.
How much was the check that you deposited?
It was $3,439.
So you deposited
Mm-hmm.
a U.S. check, a check from the Treasury, of over $3,000.
Yes.
How did you get the cash?
I have the transaction here.
Let me see.
That's the amount I deposited, and that's the amount that I put in. That's all they let me take out, the difference of that.
have your bank statement?
Yes.
Let me take a look at it. Maybe I can make heads or tails after I take a look at the bank statement. Okay. When did she give you this money, sir?
She had never received no money from the account.
How did you pay your tickets, your accident tickets?
I didn't have to ask her for the money.
How
I
did
paid the tickets on my own.
How?
I have a job. I work. And
Well, you didn't pay the tickets when they were originally due, sir. So
No.
there were penalties. Correct?
no, the ticket it was for $1,600. When they gave me the judgment, $1,600, and they gave me 2 months to pay. And in time, 2 months to pay the full amount.
Yeah.
And I paid it like on March, April, the end of April, and I paid the whole amount.
I have statements here of the bank that,
Everything I was kicked out of her house.
Just a minute. You have statements from the bank that say what?
tickets, the tickets that he got. And he was not kicked out of the house. He was cheating on me, so he left the house.
Just a second.
Your Honor, that does not have her address on it.
No, he left it in my house.
She kept my stuff.
Well, this doesn't say you owe $1,600, so this says you owe almost $2,000. When do you say you paid this money, sir?
The end of April of this year.
And how much did you pay?
I paid $1,650.
No.
I feel good about this
I don't
makeup.
believe that's that same ticket then.
Period.
Because I do have 2 tickets. At that time, I had told her about a ticket. It was just 1 ticket. And then they caught me again, and they gave me another ticket.
Caught you again for what?
For driving with us on a suspended license.
How much was that ticket?
That one was more.
How much?
I don't remember the full amount. About $2,200 and something.
You were living together at the time?
Yes.
How did he say he was going to repay you?
He was going to get a check from the union for $5,000, which is his vacation pay. He said he would give me that amount.
Okay. The second part of your lawsuit, Ms. Garcia, is about damage to your car on the day that you terminated your relationship with Mr. Cisneros. According to you, you found the defendant in your car with another woman. You had an argument, and sometime later, he did a lot of damage to your car.
Yes, he did.
Tell me about that incident.
Well, he went to my house, and that's how I got the restraining order against him. He went to my house and tried to pick up some of his belongings. And I let him go inside the room, take out everything he wanted that was his. He tried to take some of my stuff, so I told him, no, just your belongings. You came for your stuff. So when he went in there, he threw a CD case at me because I told him that was mine. He just picked it up and threw it at me. He said, fine. And he cursed at me. My son went into the room, and I told him to leave because I didn't want him to see me and his father arguing. And I told him, no, let him stay there. Let him stay. Let him see what type of person you really are.
Let's get outside because your car isn't in the house.
Yeah, so then we went to his mom's house. I went to his mom's house, and I saw him walking towards it.
Why'd you go to his mother's house?
Because he had called her saying some bad things about me, and I just wanted to correct that. And when I was backing out of the driveway, he kicked my car. He was arguing over my son's toy. My son had a toy, and he had it on top of the back of the dashboard, on the back seat. And he saw it, and he goes, that's my son's toy. And I said, no, I bought that for him. He goes, no, that's my son's toy. I said, no, I bought that for him. And he just was really upset. I mean, when he gets mad, he gets really violent. So he just kicked my car.
All right. You
I
have
have
a
the
police
pictures
report?
and everything.
You have a police report on that in the photographs? Let me take a look at it.
That's everything I have in the car.
You want to tell me about this incident, Mr. Cisneros?
Yes, the day we broke up, I went to her house to get my belongings. When she told me, okay, come in, exactly the way she said. I went into the room to get my belongings, and I tried to grab some pants that she had bought me, along with some other pants of mine. She pulled those away from me, breaking the hanger, just making a big old scene. So, you know what? I'm not going to fight with you. You want to have all this? Go ahead. I started walking away. I got on the phone. I called my mother at her house on my cell phone. Could I stay there because I had nowhere to go?
Yeah.
She says, okay, go ahead. So I started walking. It's only a block away. She followed me to my mother's house. I was maybe 4 or 5 houses away from my mother's house. She speeded up, entered my mother's driveway. I walked into my mom's gate, walked past her, walked into my mom's door because it was open. She was waiting for me at the door. That was it.
She was getting out the car, and my mom goes, "Oh, I thought you guys are broken up. What's she doing here?" I go, "Don't worry, I'll tell her to leave." I open the screen door and ask her, "Rachel, can you leave? You don't have nothing to do here." So I'm not leaving. I don't have to leave. You ain't nobody to tell me to leave. I go, "Can you please leave before I call cops? Do what you want. I'm not leaving. This is not your house. This is your mother's house. Anyways, I didn't come to talk to you."
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Listen to me. You're not following me. You just said he was never violent to women. What did you need a restraining order for?
Because he would also beat up on my son.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Raquel Garcia says the father of her child, Luis Cisneros, owes her for an unpaid loan and for the damage caused when he kicked her car. Luis says Raquel is lying about everything.
How did her car get dented?
I did not know how that.
My son will tell you. My son was there.
You don't want me to interview him, do you?
If you care, yeah. He saw everything. He knows how his dad is.
You mean to tell me you had your son in the car?
I had him in the car with me because I didn't have anybody to watch him. I went to go talk to his mom. His mom wasn't there. She had dropped off the kids at school.
Why did you, in this state of being angry with him, decide that this was the appropriate time to go to see his
No,
mother?
I wasn't angry.
Of course you were angry.
I wasn't. I was crying. I wasn't
Say
angry.
angry. Okay, angry, upset. You you just told me that you found him with another woman sitting in your car.
No, that
You had
was
a
2
big
days prior.
You had a big argument with him. Told him to get his stuff. He was getting his stuff out of the house. You had an argument with him over his property. But it was his property, things you bought for him. There was discussions going on.
No, we were arguing over a sweater that I had bought for myself.
Whatever. You were arguing.
Yeah, we were.
So, what did you take that moment for if he's leaving and if he's gone out of the house to put your son in the middle of a potential problem?
Because
you're not receiving. You're speaking.
Because that
You're not receiving. You're speaking.
Okay, that.
Why did you choose that moment to put your son in a position of risk by going to his mother's house where you knew he was going? Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid. No, because what you say does not have a ring of truth to it. You told me that he had a violent temper, that you had restraining orders against him, all this other stuff. And instead of just staying in your house and staying cool, you didn't tell me he was violent?
The restraining order was filed on June 19th.
You didn't tell me he was violent before?
Yeah.
Of course you did. So if you told me he was violent before, and he was a little violent then...
But he was never violent with women. He would always beat up guys.
So what did you need a restraining order for?
Because he would push me.
Listen to me. You're not following me. You just said he was never violent to women. Only to other guys. So I said if he was never violent to women, what did you need a restraining order for?
Because he would also beat up on my son. His mom has the pictures to prove that.
Miss Garcia, I have a problem with a lot of things that you tell me. I do. I mean, not necessarily that I believe everything that he told me, but I have problems with a lot of things that you told me. I don't believe that you gave him $3,000.
I did.
I don't believe you.
I honestly, I did.
Well,
his mom, I told his mom all the time. You can ask her. I told his mom all the time that I'm loaning him this money. She was for what? So I could give him, so he could pay the accident ticket.
Step up. You're Miss Cisneros?
Yes.
Did you ever have a conversation with Miss Garcia with regard to her giving your son money to pay off his tickets?
She said she was going to lend him the money, but I don't know if she really did or not.
Just a second. Did she mention the amount of money she was going to give him?
No.
Okay. You deposited $1,679 of this check into your checking account, leaving a balance of $1,760, which you could have gotten back in cash.
They wouldn't give it to me.
Well, I don't know what you did with it, ma'am. I have no idea what you did.
See, the reason they wouldn't let me have all that money because all I had was $1 in there when I deposited that amount, and they told me I couldn't take out anything till the check was cleared. And when the check
there is no deposit in your bank in an amount of $3,439.
Because I withdrew half of that. That's why there was no deposit in that amount, because I withdrew half of that same day.
That's exactly what I said. And there is no other withdrawal here for another $1,500, which would have come to $3,000.
Because I can't take that much money out of my bank account. It's a savings account.
And there were no other withdrawals here within the next 30 days.
It's all the highlighted.
I see that. $61, $15, $2, $10.
Yeah.
I see that, but I don't see where there's a bulk check there, madam, for $1,500.
That's how much other banks would charge me to take that amount of money.
You got a story for everything.
He would, no, look.
No,
he
no, no,
would-
no, no. Listen to me.
Where he would spend that money are here with these girls.
I'm not talking, I don't care about that. You say you gave him $3,000. I don't see where you got it from.
I showed you the refund. That's where I got that money from my tax
Miss
refund.
Garcia, pay careful attention, madam. If you had come here today and said to me, I gave him $1,700 to pay his parking tickets, I could see that. But when you make up nonsense that you gave him $3,000, that I don't believe.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are they black and blue marks?
Yes.
I spanked him, but I did not beat him. I did not hit him.
Whatever, you spanked him.
Yes.
There were marks. Those are the marks that your mother saw.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Raquel Garcia says the father of her child, Luis Cisneros, owes her for an unpaid loan and for the damage caused when he kicked her car. Luis says Raquel is lying about everything.
Now, with regard to this damage to the car, sir.
I did not kick her car.
Yeah.
We were playing around and she bumped into her car with her rear.
No, she did. She said one side to her rear, the other side she said you did.
He goes, no. He goes, I feel really bad. I did that to your car. But he pushed me. We had me in a headlock. We were messing around, and I said that we were playing around.
You mean this was like a joke thing that sort of got out of hand?
He had me in a headlock. I tipped over with my heel, and I hit the car. But that's the other side. There's two sides to that car that were dented.
Well, the other side, I did not kick her car, and I don't know where she's getting that from.
But it's in the police report. And that's what I'm telling you. You could talk to my son. My son witnessed it.
I hate to do that. I hate to put a 4-year-old in the middle of a dispute between you two people. I really
It's
do.
not a dispute. My son doesn't like him. You should ask him what he did to him.
When did Miss Garcia, he allegedly beat up your son?
It happened the week before Easter because his mom
What
took him
year?
away from me this year.
When you say his mother took him away from you, what does that mean?
She took him away from me because she thought I did that to him.
Is that right, Mr. Cisneros?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, but Mario told me that both of them had hit him, and he had marks on his little butt.
No,
Shh, just a second.
He told me both of them had hit him.
Did he
So
say
that's
when?
why I told him, you guys are not going to take him out of my house.
Just a second. Did he say when?
No, he didn't.
How did you find out?
Because I took him a bath.
Were they black and blue marks?
Yes.
Were there numerous black and blue marks?
Not a lot.
Did you ask him how it happened?
Yes, I did.
And what did he say?
And he said, Mommy and Daddy did it.
He said both did it.
Yes.
Have you seen any other marks on him?
No.
Not since then?
No.
Did you ever see any before?
No.
Mr. Cisneros,
Yes.
why did you hit your son?
That day, he was acting up, but I spanked him in his rear. But I did not beat him. I did not hit him, as I were to hit anybody. I spanked him, told him to stop doing that, and he pays attention to me. He stopped right away, and she has a little thing where she calls timeout. I told him, go on timeout. So he went and he sat in a little sofa bed, and he sat down. And that's it.
So you were the only one who hit him. His
Yes.
mother did not hit him at that time.
No. He kept on acting up. I told him, stop, or I'm going to spank you. And he goes,
Whatever, you spanked him.
yes.
There were marks. Those are the marks that your mother saw. And
I don't know what bruises they're talking about because they didn't let me see him. I don't know what they're talking about.
Your mother
bruises.
saw bruises on your
Yeah,
son.
they saw bruises.
She
I
saw
never saw him
bruises
naked or
sufficient.
bruises on.
Hey, quiet. Did you tell your mother that you were the only one who hit him that day?
I told my mom I spanked him, but I did not. Well, I told him I spanked him, yes.
Did you say that Miss Garcia also hit him?
No, I did not say nothing about her.
So you say
I
you
did.
did?
Yes.
And it was after that that your mother gave him back?
No.
How long did you keep the child?
Just
Mrs. Nurse?
for a week.
You did? Good for you. How many times did he hit him?
I'm telling you, he would lock the door whenever he would do this. He would hit him all the time. He would hit him all the time. My mom witnessed that, and she would even bang on the door trying to leave him alone.
So what'd you let him stay in your house for?
I tried to give him a chance.
You tried to give him a chance.
I tried because he hasn't seen his son.
Listen to me. Listen to me. You said to me, this is a violent man. He was violent with you. You said no, he's only violent with other men. I said, if he's only violent with other men, why did you get a restraining order against him? You said to me, well, he's violent with children too. Well, children? Which children?
My son.
Your child. Then you tell me that after being violent on more than one occasion, clearly with your child, you let him stay in the house?
Yes.
Why?
Because I thought I loved him.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You have an estimate for the damage on this one side of the car only, please.
It's over there. It's a little paper. And that was an estimate from a friend.
Repair right fender and left fender. Cost $335, but he didn't cause the damage to both fenders, only to one. That's very cheap.
He's a friend of mine.
Miss Garcia, I cannot make heads or tails, madam, of this alleged loan to pay his tickets. What I believe that you did was try to figure out a way to get $3,000 when all you gave me was probably about $1,500. And that's going to cost you $1,500. I am, however, giving you $200 to have your fender fixed. This bill is $335 for both fenders. $200 should cover at least the one that he did by kicking it. You have some clothes there? Is that your counterclaim?
Yes, all my belongings.
What do you mean all your belongings?
Jackets, clothes, underwear, shoes, watches, jewelry, paperwork.
Watches and jewelry?
No, the watch he took, and the jewelry he took.
How much money have you paid weekly in child support for your son?
She still has not proved child support. She
I
lied to me that it's not my son.
Mr. Cisneros, how much have you given her for child
I
support?
have not given her nothing. Nothing.
Good. So with all the money that you saved, go out and buy yourself some new clothes. Your counterclaim
I have bought
is good.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He's a cheater and he's a manipulative liar.
She's been calling the other girlfriend.
She's been stalking and calling my new girlfriend, my fiance. And she's been driving by the house.
I just think he's a big liar.
I would like her to take me to court and prove to me that that's my child, because she lied to me before.
And now the next case.
All parties on Radford versus Talbot. Step forward, please.
41-year-old Valerie Radford is suing her neighbors, Dwayne Talbot, his wife Terry, and their daughter, 16-year-old Ashley. Valerie says Ashley vandalized her garage with shaving cream.
Are you the daughter?
Yes.
You're the daughter who did the damage?
Yes.
Are you their neighbor?
Yes.
Father?
Yes.
Mother?
Yes.
Who are you?
Insurance broker.
Sit down, please. What kind of damage did you do to the plaintiff's house?
I put shaving cream on the side of her garage.
Why?
I was retaliating because her son threatened my brother.
What did the side of her garage have to do with that?
Was got with shaving
I
cream.
don't know why I feel itchy. God.
Putting shaving cream on the side of her house. Is the garage attached to the house?
Yes.
What did that have to do with this childhood squabble?
Well, I wasn't going to use eggs because eggs damaged too much, and so I was just like,
What were you going to do anything for?
I was retaliating from what her son said to my brother.
Well, that's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
When did you do that?
Probably a year in June.
Did she catch you doing it?
Yes.
Did you do it during the day or at night?
Night.
Did you expect to be caught?
No.
So far, you're honest. I give you that. Dumb, but honest.
Yes.
And your lawsuit is to be compensated for the damage that was done.
Yes.
To the side of your house.
Yes.
Do you have photographs of the house?
Yes, I do. And it's not just the garage, it's the stucco. And that's the problem. It can't be removed from the stucco.
Is this that line?
Yes.
That's there? Did you try washing it off?
Yes.
When were these pictures taken?
About a week after.
Have you seen these pictures? Would you show them, please, to the defendants? So did you get estimates to
Yes, I did. I have 3.
Can I see them, please?
The problem, my house is 10 years old.
We moved in the neighborhood about the same year, and the paint can't be remasked. I mean, they brought folks to try to match it. That's why they said the house has to be repainted. Because it's 10 years old, I mean, you know, the cracks and the normal wear and tear will have to absorb that, but it's just that we wouldn't be having to paint our house right now if this didn't happen. Okay. Who do you want me to hear from?
The night that it happened, Valerie's husband came down to the house, told me what had happened. Ashley and I walked down, went immediately to talk to Valerie, and Valerie told us in no uncertain terms that she wanted to do nothing, that it had already been taken care of. She then said that we should turn it over to our homeowner's insurance because her homeowner's insurance had said that ours should pay for it, which is exactly what I did. Now, the whole time, I have admitted I never challenged the fact of actually doing it. This is the size can of shaving cream. This is exactly. We turned it into our insurance agent. The insurance agent, which I have here, Ted, the adjuster went out. There was no damage.
Well, there is damage.
Well,
There is damage.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
she and her children have flipped us off. She has used her profanity.
It's ridiculous. I mean, her daughter was 100% wrong. It's also 100% juvenile.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Valerie Radford says neighbor 16-year-old Ashley Talbot vandalized her garage with shaving cream.
You're the agent.
And I wasn't aware that anybody came to my home.
They didn't have to go into your home to look at it, so we may have gone out. What is your last name, sir?
Talbot.
Well, their last name is Talbot. Are you related to them?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you related?
This is my brother Dwayne.
They do all of their insurance through your company?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When did you go out to look at the property?
Property was looked at after the claim was turned in August. It was observed. The case was negotiated with the adjuster, with the other party. And per the records that I've got, it was closed on October 6th.
What do you mean it was? I don't understand that. You mean the two adjusters got together from two insurance companies? Who got together?
I look crazy.
The insurance company got together with, I was informed, spoke with the defendant.
With the plaintiff.
Sorry. The case has been closed as of October 6th.
Well, but she was
Whatever it
trying to
is,
get
I'm
you
still
from the
going
insurance
I was
on.
never notified. No one ever spoke with me about it. The only thing I've gotten is being called names when I drive through the neighborhood. And
Well, that's ridiculous. You have no proof that your company ever paid out a claim.
No.
Well, then it wasn't settled, because if the adjuster went out and spoke to them and your company closed the file, and it closed the file erroneously because she was never compensated, according to you.
That is correct.
So what are you doing here? Do you have anything to add to this case?
Nothing further.
Perfect. Sit down.
when Valerie talks about calling names, first of all, we very, very, very seldom drive by her home. That's number one. Number two is every time she has driven by our house, she and her children have flipped us off. She has used her profanity. Even in public places, she has used her profanity. All that we asked was for this to be over and to leave us alone.
Well, first we have to resolve this issue of the house. I've read your answer, and your answer suggests that this was just some shaving cream and it could be washed off. But I've seen the photographs, and it certainly appears that there is some, and I agree, minor discoloration between where you put the shaving cream and the house. Minor. Unfortunately, to make it right, she will be forced to repaint it and power wash it because of what you did, if she wants it to look the same. So it's going to cost you more then, and I think that you have to take that up with your brother-in-law. I mean, your brother-in-law did not do the right thing if it was closed. It's ridiculous. You have homeowner's insurance. Your homeowner's insurance should cover that. This is not difficult. The money part isn't difficult. The other part is more difficult. You have children?
Yes, I do.
You have boys?
2 boys and a girl.
Is it the boys that are having trouble with her son?
And they're 19 years of age. Mine is.
Well, you won't try to get your boys. No, because the boys are going to move out of the house practically sooner rather than later. And you're going to be Dr. Sneakers.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
I mean, her daughter was 100% wrong. No question about that, but it's also 100% juvenile. And certainly not a good example for children, for your children, or your children, I don't know. That's right. To see their parents acting in an inappropriate way. You would agree with that, right?
Yes.
You would agree with that, right?
Yes.
So if your boys are behaving badly, don't encourage them by setting a bad example. And in addition, if your neighbors, you live next door to each other, it's terrible to have to pull into a driveway and feel uncomfortable, to have to walk down the street, to have to drive your car down the street and have your back up all the time. It's ridiculous. Life is too short. Ladies, life is much too short. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,200, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Well, I really think that the ultimate outcome should be that we have no more vandalism on our home, that we don't have to listen to any more profanity, and that we be left alone. Well, I'm just thankful that it went the way that it did, and I want these people to leave us alone.
26-year-old pipe fitter Michael Ian and his wife, 25-year-old cashier Debbie Navarro, are suing Daryl and Hope DeMoss for damage to their car after they ran into the DeMoss's son, 11-year-old Ryan. The DeMosses are countersuing for their son's medical bills.
Order. All rise. Dallas case number 227 on the calendar. Navarro, Ian versus Moss. Parties been sworn. Judge, you may be seated. Gentlemen, have seats, please.
You were driving, Michael, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And who are you?
I'm Debbie, I'm his wife. I was the passenger.
According to your complaint, Mr. Navarro, you were driving in a residential area near a park. This is an area where you live.
Yes, I do.
You are very familiar with this park area.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Park area where there are a lot of kids.
Yes.
And you were driving there on a Saturday
Yes.
afternoon
I would.
when there was no school, so there were a lot of kids out, correct?
Yes.
And the defendant's little boy came on his bicycle, darting out of the park, causing you to have an accident.
Yes, correct.
The accident was that you hit his bicycle, he went flying up on the roof of your car, bounced off, landed on the ground, correct?
Correct.
You are suing his parents for the damage to your car.
Correct.
They are now counterclaiming for unreimbursed medical bills for their son. Is that right?
Your Honor, though, I brought proof. I brought the police report.
Just a second, I'm not finished. Okay. I conduct the trial, all right? Do you have children of your own?
Yes, ma'am.
How many children do you have?
3 boys.
How old are they?
9, 4 years old, and 6 months old.
So the 9-year-old is the only one who rides a bike.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you ride in that park?
Yes, he does.
Is it a windy road around that park?
No, ma'am.
Straight road.
Straight road.
And there are a lot of trees in the area?
Yes, there is.
Are they tall trees?
Yes, they are.
And what is the speed limit in that area?
25 miles an hour.
And how fast was your car going at the time that you hit the defendant's son?
On the police report, it says 25 miles an hour.
Well, the police weren't present. You told the police how fast you were going.
Yes, but they also took an investigation, and they have some mechanism that determines how fast you're going. And
So they determined that you were going 25 miles per hour.
I disagree with that.
Now, you know what it means, posted speed limit?
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean?
Means you must be going within that speed
Limit,
limit.
or you are breaking the law.
Yes, ma'am.
That doesn't say you must go 25 miles an hour, right?
Right.
That means that the most you can go is 25 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you tell me the sequence of events up to the point where you hit this young man?
Alrighty, it was a Saturday. Baseball season was in effect. Picked up me and my wife, my boy after his game, went to have some lunch. We're driving down the street. I especially pay attention to the part where the sidewalk comes to effect because I have my 9-year-old and I do live like 10 houses from where this did happen at. And so I'm driving down the street, telling the boys, yeah, we're going to get something to eat. And they say, no, I seen this little boy just right in front of my car. So I slammed on my brakes, try to move left, avoid hitting the little boy. I catch him with the right-hand side of my van. He rolls up onto the van, looks at me, falls down. I immediately throw him in park.
Went onto the hood.
Yes, ma'am. I immediately threw him in park. Me and my wife both ran out. She grabbed the sheet from the back seat, put underneath his head, and we tried to take care of him and call 911.
But during the time of that whole incident, when the parents showed up, we explained to the parents, we were sorry that we hit the little boy, but he came out of nowhere. We also told them if we were at fault, we'd be more than welcome to pay for everything, if we were responsible. When we see that police report, and if we weren't at fault, we would like to work something out with them. So we waited till the police report came.
Let me see the police report. What kind of car were you driving?
2000 Nissan Quest.
You have insurance?
Yes, we did. We just really drove off the lot a week before that.
Good. What was your deductible?
$500.
So why are you suing them for $2,500?
Because that's how much the damages were. When we found the police report,
Just a second. That may be how much the damages were, but your out-of-pocket expenses are only $500.
but see what was going to happen. When we contacted our insurance, if we were to pay the $500 deductible, our insurance would have gone up. Why should we have to pay for our insurance to go up if their son was at fault? So we both agreed that we were going to wait for the police report to come out. He also said on the telephone, Mr. DeMoss, that if the police report showed that his son was at fault, he would take full responsibility as being the father to that little boy, and him being out in the street and coming out in front of our car, and we hitting him, that he was going to pay for it. So I waited. I waited till the police report came out. I contacted him. He says, I'm going to call my lawyer. So I waited another month. He says, I'm going to talk to my lawyer again. So finally, after 4 months went by, I said, you know what, I can't do this. My paint's starting to chip more. It's getting rust marks. It's a 2000 car. It's not fair that I have to get stuck driving a beat-up vehicle now. So that's when I took him to court.
If I was at fault, I wouldn't even have to be coming to court. I would just, any way I could help. I mean, I felt bad. I had a little boy. My son's the same age. But, I mean, like I said, I was with my family. I was just driving down the street. I didn't know what to do after the accident happened, so I called the police. The police came in. I just go by what they said because, you know, they have all the special equipment supposedly to tell me who's going fast and it would have been my fault, this and that. So I went by what the police report said.
There was also 2 other witnesses. The little boy and the little girl said that he did not look
Don't tell me what any witnesses that aren't here said. What kind of book do you do, sir? Typefitter. And what kind of book do you do?
Cashier.
Now, Mr. Navarro, according to this police report, there were 39 feet of skid marks, locked wheel skid marks, before colliding with this little boy. That's quite a distance. So you weren't right on top of him when you saw him.
Yes, I was. When you caught that in front of me, I was from no more than from your bench to right there.
But there was skid marks already.
My back brakes locked as soon as they did, and it drug up somehow. I asked them how they were going to do that, and so they were going to take away the distance from the van, from the front to the back tires, to determine how fast I was going. Because when I got there, when I got to the car, I looked at the skid marks. They looked long, and I was like, well, you know.
They are long. 39, that's the only figure that they have here. It doesn't say how many feet the skid marks were prior to the collision.
No, those are them. The only skid marks that were there is what the police went by.
39 feet of locked wheel skid marks.
And
but was unable to stop prior to colliding with vehicle 2. He's vehicle 2. That's a lot of skid marks.
Yes, it is.
What I'm suggesting to you is, when I asked you earlier on, 25-mile speed limit is the limit which the law permits you to go in a certain area. But if you are familiar with an area, as you are, and are familiar with the fact that there are lots of children on their bikes riding around, children that don't always act responsibly, and you know that it's a Saturday afternoon in baseball season, so everybody's out, instead of going 25 miles an hour, you go 10 miles an hour. You go 5 miles an hour around the park, because you know where the kids exit from the park, right? There's a ramp, right?
Yes.
Most people think that pedestrians are usually right. Well, in this case, this young man who's not going to stand next to his parents, stand up here. He was wrong. How old are you?
11.
You know you were wrong for not stopping and looking both ways before you came out of the park and down that ramp into the street, right?
Yes, wrong.
It was a very foolish thing to do. You could have gotten yourself killed. He was wrong. He's 11.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
First thing I saw was that little boy on my hood. And I saw the helmet fly off. I saw the shoes fly off.
You are going too fast.
And later today,
she told me I shouldn't have paid my ticket. Her phone bill is more important than my ticket. And we started fighting.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Michael Guillen and his wife Debbie Navarro say 11-year-old Ryan DeMoss was at fault in an accident while riding his bike. They are suing for damage to their car.
He's the same age practically as your son. If somebody hit your son, while he was riding on his bicycle. He was going the speed limit in that neighborhood. And your son wound up with injuries. I mean, he fortunately wasn't seriously injured, but he was injured. How would you feel if the people who hit him said he should have been looking both ways?
I would have, if it happened to me, that's what you're asking me, I wouldn't even have to take it this far. I would have said, you know what, thank you for not killing my son. I'm sorry, it was his fault. You know, I just want you to know that whatever I can do, I'll do. You know.
Why should they do anything?
Well, if somebody hit my son was at fault, I would at least offer to pay for what they did to the car.
You don't think that you have any responsibility, Mr. Navarro?
Yeah.
What's your responsibility?
Being on that road, I would imagine there's nothing else I could have done. I mean, I should
Sure,
have
no, yes, you could have. Well, that's your problem. You say there's nothing else you could have done. Look, I remember living in one of my lives in a cul-de-sac. You know what a cul-de-sac is? It's a dead-end street. And the posted speed limit in this little town where I lived was 25 miles an hour. Anybody driving around that cul-de-sac with their kids riding on their bikes at 25 miles an hour, I would consider driving like a lethal weapon. Because there are kids darting all over the place, and you say, well, I can drive 25 miles an hour here because that's the speed limit. Right? It would have been like having a dangerous weapon. You think that's right?
Well, it depends on the circumstances. I would imagine. No, I mean, in this cul-de-sac,
Okay, guys,
my
so
street, I go by the limit.
So here is the final look, guys. Let me know what you think. Today is Vlogmas number 6, day 6. Tomorrow I do have a party and I'm gonna vlog about it. So if you are looking to, you know, get a sneak peek of it, just go ahead and you know what to do. Subscribe, and then you're going to see a live, of course, tomorrow. And then yeah, we'll talk, we'll chat. I'll be on live tomorrow the whole time. Hopefully my phone does not die. But yeah, I will be. So just watch out for tomorrow, and I will be posting a video soon. So watch out for that as well. I love you guys, okay? Let me take this off. And actually the reason why, hello, Muhammad. The reason why I actually do not, let me know what you guys think. I feel like it's cool. Like my makeup matches. Don't mind the pajamas. Today I didn't have anything to wear, okay? I have pajamas on, but yeah, here's the makeup look. And let me know, guys, if like you like these type of things, and if I do come online like live, let me know what you guys want. Like I have to know what you want in order to execute it for you, so let me know. And then yeah, we'll take it step by step, okay? Make sure you subscribe, follow, do all the things, okay? Tell a friend to tell a friend that I am always on live and they should come and watch me. I love you guys. Mwah.